With the disappointment of the 50 series and the outrageous prices of the 30 and 40 series, one might think it's hopeless to build a PC anymore. The newest GPUs that are reasonably priced right now are from 7 years ago. Today, the RTX 2060 sits around $150 secondhand on eBay. Now, why am I talking about the lowest tier card and not something like the 2080 Ti? Number one, because I don't own one. And number two, I'm not Bill Gates. For whatever reason, people love to hate on the 2060, and I legitimately have no clue why. Sure, it really only performs in 1080p, and the RX 6600 is better for the same price. Besides the hate, the 2060 actually has a lot going for it. The card actually performs better than the RTX 3050, and even gets close to the performance of the RTX 4060, depending on which one you buy. The 2060 had variations in 6 and 12GB. More and more modern day games are requiring 10GB plus, so you're just best off getting the 12GB. In order to keep this video short and to the point, I'm going to be as brief as I can with these couple of games. You go through all the settings here, everything's set to high, including ray tracing. It honestly does not look bad. We are getting a solid 60-some FPS, which is rather impressive. But then again, this is also not that graphical intense.
PlayStation.
In God of War with the Ultra preset, I'm getting about 46, 42 FPS. The 2060 really does not shine with this game unless you are not recording it. Other than those games, here's a few stats on some more popular games. Cyberpunk on average gets about 37 FPS. With Warzone on 1080p low, the card gets an average of 90 FPS. Elden Ring on 1080p max settings gets an average of 60 FPS. Forza set to extreme setting gets an average of about 65 FPS. And Red Dead Redemption with ultra settings gets about the same. For every single game I've played in VR, this card has been fantastic. I'm able to max out the graphics settings on every VR game I own. This also could be due to the fact that my VR headset is 9 years old. So I'm gonna go ahead and test out this card on the most modern VR game I own. I played through the entirety of Lone Echo 2 with this graphics card, and I had pretty much no issue, other than looking out in the distance and seeing it look like absolute poop. Lone Echo looks incredibly impressive on the 2060, I have to say. I'm capping off at 90 FPS. While I was testing these games, at the same time I was using my usual dual monitor setup, so you'd probably get better performance if you were using one monitor. Other than games, say you want to do some rendering. In terms of the benchmarks, it sucks. However, it's not impossible. I do plenty of Unity, Blender, and video rendering, and it works just fine for me. Now after all that, should you get one? If you don't mind 1080p and slightly detuned settings, go for it. However, there are some better options. The 2070 and even the 1080 Ti, just to name a few. Now if I missed anything talking about the stupid little rectangle, then just let me know in the comments. As you can see, I'm quite poor. Can you make a donation? Please make a donation. I feel like an idiot right now.